I was surprised when Barney, an acquaintance of mine from university, called me to say he was working in my hometown on a temporary project and suggested we meet for a drink. I was taken aback when he casually informed me that he'd been having my wife for the past 2 weeks. "You have until I finish my pint to run as fast and as far as you can. But make no mistake, I will catch you, and you won't like what happens when I do." Barney swallowed, but, to his credit, didn't move from his seat. "I am here to apologize, for I did not know she was your wife. I would never have done that to you of my own free will. An old friend. She told me she was divorced and looking for fun." "Old buddy?" The truth is, even before this revelation, Barney wasn't my buddy. We were roommates freshman year of college, so we had to get along. I was an IT major, he was a chemistry major, and the rest of the gang was English. After freshman year, he hung around among us all the time, but somewhere on the periphery. He was normal, but there was always a certain tension in him that I didn't like. He looked at me too closely, sometimes for too long, and it made me suspicious. We hung out together, even went on vacation once to celebrate graduation, and I got the short straw, so I had to share a room with Barney. I don't remember much about that vacation except that I had the worst hangover of my life and had to stay in bed for a couple days to recover. There was silence at the table. I clutched my glass tighter, and Barney was getting paler by the second, but he didn't move. "I don't believe you. Stephanie would never do that to me, especially not to you. She's been faithful to me since the day we got married. Oh, by the way, thanks for inviting me. I only invited my friends. The whole gang except for me." "So that's it, huh? You made up that lie about my wife in a fit of rage because you're still angry that I didn't invite you to my wedding 6 years ago. I haven't seen you in 10 years, you miserable bastard." "Well, maybe it wouldn't have happened if you'd invited me. I would have recognized her right away." With those words, he handed over his phone, showing me a naked Stephanie. She posed in front of the camera in lingerie I didn't recognize. She was smiling broadly at the camera. He flipped through the photos to show me pictures of them together with her smiling broadly at the camera. We had always had a good sex life. I never left her out, and she never left me out. That's why it was so hard for me to believe. I loved her so much. She's my everything, and I knew I was her everything. No, I believed in Stephanie. I believed in us too much to fall for that trick. Way to go, Barney. You almost had me fooled. A very impressive deep fake, I gotta hand it to you, but I still don't believe you. I know Stephanie and I trust her. I know she wouldn't do this. Okay, I'll prove it to you. Tell her you're working late. I know you have to work late sometimes or Steph wouldn't be able to meet me. I flinched when he called her Steph. She hates it when anyone calls her by a name that isn't her full name. I tried it once and I don't make that mistake again. I should have punched him when I had the chance, but I decided to do what he asked. At least to keep him quiet long enough for me to kill him. After I talked to Stephanie, Barney picked up the phone and said, "Hey, Steph, when can I see you again? Tonight? I'll be there in 15 minutes. Don't forget to give Humphrey one of those pills I put in your cheese. You know how much he hates me. If you give it to him now, he'll be asleep when I get there." "You better be lying, you bastard. If you touched Stephanie or drugged my dog, you'd wish you'd never been born." "I didn't know, did I? That's just it. I'm just trying to prove what Stephanie's really like because you don't believe me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had no idea she was anyone's wife, much less yours. Sorry, buddy, but you deserve better. As for the dog, Humphrey's gonna be fine. For some reason, he hasn't accepted me, and all he does is bark and growl when he sees me." "Well, at least unlike some people, he's loyal to me. This pill won't hurt him, it'll just help him take a nap." "You believe me now?" Barney said, sipping his drink. "Give me 15 minutes, then come home. I'll make sure we don't go too far. I can't do that to you now that you know the truth. Just trying to save you from that lying cow." "How noble of you," I growled. He walked away quickly, and I was left sitting there, stunned. Of course he must be lying. Then it dawned on me that maybe this was all part of some elaborate prank the boys had pulled. They dragged Barney into it, and he was so desperate to get back into the gang after all these years that he'd agreed to everything. I guess that's the way it is. It wouldn't surprise me if they all jumped out when I got home. That's why Barney said he wouldn't go too far tonight, because he couldn't. since Stephanie wouldn't agree to go too far purely for a prank. Those bastards almost had me convinced. Feeling happier, I finished my pint and headed home. I crept up to the back door, expecting everyone to pop out to greet me. Humphrey was suspiciously quiet in his basket. I began to feel uneasy again. I entered the hallway. Music could be heard playing, but there were no other sounds. I went into the living room, and there, in front of the fireplace, with his pants down to his ankles, stands Barney. I stood there looking at the whole thing. My legs seemed unable to move. Barney bent in half, and Stephanie stared at me in shock, brushing away the shards of glass. "It's not what it looks like," she shouted. "Stephanie, is that the best you can do? You have an explanation." With those words, I turned around and picked up Humphrey, dog bed and all. I was taking him to the vet, and he was the only one that mattered right now. The vet turned out to be excellent, and there was no waiting at this late hour. Of course, we didn't know exactly what he had been given, but from the looks of it, he was fine, aside from being in a deep sleep. We decided that as a precautionary measure, he should stay overnight at the vet so they could keep an eye on him and make sure there were no after effects upon waking. Poor little guy. I burst home and found Stephanie sitting alone in the kitchen. "Your boyfriend left, didn't he? I wish he'd taken you with him because I don't need you anymore. Now get out of my sight." "Where's Humphrey?" She swallowed. "Thanks to you, I had to leave him at the vet's. They're keeping him there for observation. If he gets hurt in any way, you'll love my reaction. It'll be a lot worse than a divorce, believe me." "Divorce? I don't want a divorce. We can get over it. It was just a mistake. We can get over it." "No, we really can't. I don't give second chances, not even to you." With those words, I packed my suitcase. "Where are you going?" Stephanie screamed. "You didn't even let me explain." "What kind of explanations can there be, Stephanie? Should I call you Steph like all your boyfriends?" "I don't have boyfriends. He's not my boyfriend. If you'd just let me explain, you'd owe me." "I don't owe you anything. I'm going to sleep at the hotel. You better be at your mom's when I get home from work tomorrow, unless you're planning on moving in with Barney." I slammed the door so hard it rattled the frame. Just as I headed for my car, Barney showed up. "Where are you going?" "I'm staying at a hotel until that bitch moves out. You can have her if you want. I don't need her." "I don't need her. That's not the point. I just wanted you to believe me about what she is. Don't go to the hotel. Come and stay with me. This is all my fault. Let me make it up to you. I was just trying to protect my friend." "Friend?" I laughed. "That's funny. Well, she was very persistent, and that was the best way to prove it to you. Nothing else would have worked." "Well, I'm glad it worked for you. I know what will help me at this point." I put the suitcase in the back seat of the car and hit him with all my might. I hadn't hit anyone in a long time and had forgotten how much it hurt, but the pain was worth it. He went down after one punch. He's lucky I didn't run him over, you filthy bastard. That's for Humphrey. Wait till you see what happens to you for ruining my marriage and my life. I left it in the driveway. As I drove out of the garage, I saw Stephanie in the rearview mirror. I expected her to rush over to Barney, but she pulled back the curtains. I talked to the vet first thing that morning, and they let me pick up the dog at lunchtime with no repercussions. I took him to work, and he settled under my desk. Sometimes being the boss is good, but sometimes you have to work through the night. Is that why Stephanie gave in to Barney? Was I neglecting her? She knew I was building a business for our future. We actually spent a lot of time together. Quality time. That's why I was so shocked. That's why last night I lay awake in the hotel, heartbroken. That night when Humphrey and I got home. Stephanie wasn't there. She left a short note. "I'm at my mom's, waiting for you to be ready to talk. I crumpled it up and tossed it in the trash can." She would have to wait a long time for that conversation. Confused by the situation, I knew I needed friends. I called Oliver and told him what had happened. He promised to spread the word further. I think he was almost as shocked as I was. Bloody Barney? What was she thinking? Later, after I'd had a few shots of whiskey, the rest of our gang started calling or texting. I had an interesting conversation with Callum. He lived the closest, and the four of us often met up with him and his wife, Laura. Look, I know this won't change anything for you, but I think you should talk to Stephanie. She talked to Laura. I don't know what it was about, but Laura says there's more to the story. She also said that Stephanie may be the stupidest woman to ever walk this earth. She is furious with you, but she says there is more to this case than meets the eye. All she told me was that it wasn't an affair, whatever that means. I'm not happy that she has more to say, but she says you have to hear it in person first. We were interrupted by a knock on the door. I couldn't believe it when I saw Barney outside the door with 2 black eyes and an obviously broken nose. I just wanted to say that I didn't tell the police that you did this to me. I understand that you were upset and why you blamed me, so I won't say anything. I still want us to be friends. I know we've lost touch, but we used to love each other. Are you serious? I could never be friends with you after what you did. You make me sick. I could never get the sight of you two out of my head. Now do something before I find another part of your body to break. He flinched and stepped back, but he didn't leave. I'll give you time, but I want you to know that I'm there for you when you calm down. I will always be your friend. I'll always take care of you. As I closed the door, I was seriously starting to think he had some kind of mental problem. A week passed and I hadn't heard from Stephanie, so I went to my lawyer to see what the divorce would look like. It wasn't a great offer, but I could afford it. Fortunately, my business would not be affected, as it would remain solely mine due to the way it was set up. However, Stephanie will receive most of the profits as alimony, unless I can prove that she earns more than me. I will not be doing any additional work from now on. What's the point of that? Friday night, I got a call from my mother-in-law, Maureen. I always got along with her and called her mom, especially since my own parents have been dead for a long time. They're not dead, but they might as well be. They live in Spain and are too busy with their social life to think of their only son. I've always had a special affection for her. Hello, my love. I've been worried about you. Stephanie said I shouldn't touch you, but I can't stop worrying about you. Are you eating? You don't drink too much, do you? Do you need me to come in? I can make you lasagna. I know you've always loved it. The simple kindness, love, and care she had inadvertently shown me was too much, and I just burst into tears. Oh, my poor darling, I'm on my way. When she arrived, she had just entered the house with the spare key. I never had time to change the locks. Soon I was in her arms and let her rock me and soothe me like I was a little kid who fell off his bike and scraped his knee. My stupid girl did that to you. I always loved you like family, and I could have punched her. I really could have. How could she be so cruel? I asked. I thought she loved me as much as I loved her. Thought we'd have kids soon. I know we are, honey, and she really does love you very much. If she didn't, she wouldn't have spent all week in my arms crying. As for being cruel, she's not really cruel. Yes, she was stupid, but she wasn't cruel. How can you say that? That's sort of what Laura said to Callum. Because she only told the truth to Laura and me, what happened and why she did it, that's why. I'm not defending her and she knows it. She's a bloody fool, but I know she loves you and only you. It would be better if you talked to her, and as soon as possible. She must tell you everything herself. With these words, she heated up the lasagna and made me drink a lot of water. No more drinking until everything was settled. It'll be a long time before the divorce is finalized, I muttered. Let's not rush into it. It might not come to that, Maureen said quietly. But if it does, you won't divorce me. I'll still be there for you. I'll still be your second mom. Then I'll tell Stephanie that you'll be ready to talk to her at 10 in the morning. She left quickly before I could object. I slept better than I had the last few days, but I still got up very early, pacing around the house until the confrontation I so dreaded, but knew had to happen. When I saw Stephanie, my heart caught in my throat. She looked even worse than I did. Her hair was unkempt and her face was lifeless, even though she'd obviously made an effort with makeup. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Please, just let me talk to you. I'll tell you what happened and then I'll leave. You don't even have to say anything. I don't expect anything, but you need to know the truth. I nodded. At this point, I had nothing to say. The word was definitely hers. I met Barney about a month ago when he came into the car dealership. He started chatting me up and then he noticed my last name, asked if I was your wife, and I said I was. He was very upset, telling me how close he was to your gang and how you just blew him off. He never understood why, said how much he missed all of you, but especially you, talked about you in such glowing terms. I felt sorry for him. Obviously, you were much more important to him than he was to you. You mentioned him several times, and I saw pictures of him, but I felt sorry for him. It was almost the end of the day. You had already informed me that you would be working late. So when he suggested a quick drink, what was wrong with that? I'll just have a drink before coming home with your old friend. I even thought he might tell me some of your old secrets that I could tease you with. Anyway, he turned out to be a good conversationalist, but a little weird. He stares a lot, doesn't he? I didn't like that, but he was nice enough. I only had one drink, and that's all I remember of the first time. I woke up in his bed in the hotel, and it was obvious what we'd done. I tried to get up, to go to the police, to take tests to prove he drugged me. But then he came back into the room smiling. I think you liked it. Listen to this. He turned on the soundtrack from the video he had recorded, and my voice really sounded like I enjoyed it. I begged for more, for him to do it harder, faster, deeper. It was horrible. Who would believe me now? How could anyone believe me? I knew the predator had me trapped. You could have told me, and I would have gone to the police with you. I know, but you never would have looked at me the same way. There'd always be some doubt. Hell, at that moment I was even doubting myself. I could still go to the police. At that point I had a chance while I still had drugs in my system, but then he played his trump card. Which was, he didn't just do it to me, he did it to you. Of course he did it to me too. If he hurt you, he hurt me too. No, please, let me explain. When you were on vacation, he did the same thing to you. Drugged you, slept with you, videotaped you, and took pictures of you. He showed them to me. Remember you said that on those vacations you had the worst hangover you'd ever experienced? Afterward, he obviously refined the drug cocktail, used it on me. You didn't look like you were enjoying it. You looked like a zombie, but you were definitely participating. At this point, I ran to the sink and faced my breakfast again. I didn't push it away when she stroked my back. And you saw that? Yes. And I knew you didn't know about it. I didn't want you to know about him, about us. So he really did have us both, didn't he? When he said you'd never even know if I met him a few more times while he was here, it seemed like a small price to pay for your peace of mind. He'd already done something to me, to us, and it would haunt me, but I could still protect you. He promised you'd never know, and that he'd give me all the videos and pictures. And you believed him? Of course not, but I didn't have many options, did I? No, you didn't. You had a choice. I'd rather know better than let you do what you did, see you sleeping with him. I didn't think he'd tell you. I believed it. He seemed strangely obsessed with you and just wanted to be your friend. So my friend raped me, and then 10 years later he raped my wife. How many times? He'd been seeing you a couple times a week for the last few weeks, so a total of 6 times. And he drugged you each time? No, just the first one. Somehow that seems worse. You remember all the other times with him? Yeah, it felt like it was happening to someone else. It was like an out-of-body experience. And always here in our house? After the first time, yes, but never in our bed. I wouldn't do it with you. He did it in the living room on the rug. What about Humphrey? Well, the first time he jumped him, so after that he started giving him sleeping pills. Promised it wouldn't hurt him. And it didn't, did it? No, it didn't. But you seem to trust your abuser's word too much, and you don't trust your husband at all. You've had a shock. A terrible shock, but hopefully in time we can get over that. You see, I did it for us. For you. I'll go back to my mom. I'm not the favorite person in her life right now. I'll be there for you whenever you want to talk. Just remember how much I love you. Don't let him win. He did it to end us, didn't he? Why else would he tell you? I don't know what his plans are, but don't let them happen. Please. She kissed me on the cheek and gave Humphrey a little peck on the way out. She took a piece of my heart with her. I loved her, but I didn't know if I could survive it. She didn't share a piece of the puzzle with me, and that's what I didn't share with her. That afternoon, the whole gang got together. Callum, Oliver, James, and Harry. Some had come from the other side of the country, but had dropped everything to be there for me, like true friends do. Over a few beers, I told them what Stephanie had told me. They were just as horrified by it all as I was. especially what had happened on our shared vacation. "It's weird," Callum said. "He never really fit in with us. We ended up together in that apartment. We were never unkind to him. We tried our best, but he never really fit in." "I know what Stephanie meant, though. He was never interested in fitting in with us. In fact, he was only interested in becoming your friend." I shuddered, realizing what he wanted from me. "But what did he hope to gain by separating me and Stephanie?" "Who knows?" Oliver said. "But I can't help but think that this is more about you than Stephanie." "What, just because we lost touch?" "No," said Oliver. "I think it's more than that. Remember how he wanted to be the good guy in all of this? Didn't want you to be alone? Wanted to be there for you?" "So," Harry said, "he breaks up your marriage, acts as a supportive friend, and then what? You discover your homosexuality, fall in love, and you ride off into the sunset together. Who knows what that sick little bastard was playing at? Whatever he's up to, it's not going to end well for him," James growled. "I'm sorry," Oliver said. "There's already a gay in this particular fraternity. Me, thanks. We don't need anyone else." "Oliver, I think we need your Connor to handle this. Will he be able to make it?" Callum said. "He's already here, mate. He's waiting at the hotel. I didn't want to interfere." "Well, so call him. He's as much a part of us as you've been since he married you," I said. "He'll be thrilled to hear about it. You're out of ideas, and I think we need his help." As soon as Connor arrived, we devised a plan. I knew what to do with Barney, and I also decided what I was going to do with Stephanie. That night, we invited Barney to come over. I think he figured he would see me alone. His face looked a little better, but he was surprised to see the rest of the gang. "The whole old gang here again, together like old times. I was hoping it would just be you and me here," he said, looking at me intently. "I think we have a lot to talk about, don't you? Whatever we need to discuss, we can all do it together, friends, can't we?" I offered him a drink, and he drank it all in one go. He was clearly intimidated by the sight of so many people watching him. "So," I began, "Stephanie told me her side of the story. You might want to tell yours." "I already told you that she hooked me up by telling me she was divorced and asked if I wanted to have some fun. As soon as I realized you were her husband, I came to you to tell you the truth. You know I would never hurt you. You mean too much to me. You always have." "Enough to drug me and rape me?" "I don't know what you mean." "I think you do." "On that vacation when I was hungover, it wasn't the booze, was it? It was the effects of the drugs you gave me." "It was a long time ago, and I admit we were intimate on that holiday. You asked me not to tell the others, but you know what happened, and you loved it. You loved me then." "Loved you?" "I could barely stand you. Now I hate you, with all my heart, believe me." "Did you?" "I didn't even know it was happening." "You're just upset. I know you don't think so. I knew you were a little out of it, so I needed to loosen you up a little. I knew that if I could relax you, you would be able to show your true feelings and enjoy yourself. And that's exactly what happened. The night I found myself in your arms was the happiest night of my life. I've experienced it many times. I know you have too." I just sat there in stunned silence. Barney's suffering from some kind of deep psychosis. He had some kind of love affair with me that I didn't even know about. "So what was the plan, Barney, old boy?" Callum asked, speaking slowly, trying to hide his horror. "I needed him to break it off with Stephanie. It was all her fault. She got in my way. She took him away from me. Don't you understand?" "I think I do," Harry said. "And then you could be the hero for exposing her as a whore." "You expected me to forgive you, but not her?" "Well, I knew that you actually loved me, not her. Knew my involvement in this was risky. Knew it would hurt you. Knew you'd be jealous when you saw me with her, but once you realized it freed you up to be with me, you'd realize it was all worth it." "He's just out of his mind," Oliver muttered. "Still, you had to drug her like you did me." "Only the first time. I hate to say this, but she actually got into it without any extra encouragement." Seeing all of our old friends clench their fists at that moment, his eyes shifted to me. "I'm not lying. She couldn't get enough." A couple times she even texted me to meet up with her. I needed to do it, but I didn't enjoy it, ... It was a means to an end. I only wanted you, always wanted only you. At that moment, there was silence. I can't believe Stephanie would do that, Harry said. I have her text, I'll show you, Barney said, handing me her phone. It was all there, her request and her desire to see him. There was no coercion after that first time. She'd enjoyed their illicit connection, apparently much more than he did. You know, Callum said, there's a name for this. I think it's called traumatic bonding. You don't seem shocked by what Barney said, Oliver said, looking at me. No, I answered. Remember, I saw it with my own eyes. I've been married to her for years, and I know what she looks like when she likes it. I knew it made her enjoy it, being with him. I don't want to lie about it, Barney said. I've been honest with you. That means something too, doesn't it? Well, I said, it would certainly matter in court, wouldn't it, Connor? I called out to Connor, and he came out of the kitchen. You haven't met my husband, Connor, have you, Barney? Oliver said. Detective Inspector Connor O'Brien. Have you heard everything? I asked Connor. Yes, I heard everything, he replied, turning to Barney and reading him his rights. No, you can't. Don't let him take me away. We're supposed to be together. Did I do this for you? Funny, Stephanie used to say that too, I whispered, feeling my remaining friend's arms encircle me in a hug. You know, Oliver said, you and Stephanie were both victimized by Barney. Yes, we were, but despite her protests, she may have been raped the first time. But she came back for more, begged for more. You saw the text. Yeah, but even so. No, she had to come to me, trust me. But she found a way to get a little crazy and make a good excuse for it. You want to know what it was like when I saw them together, don't you? The last piece of the puzzle? The others nodded. She loved it. There was no compulsion there. Maybe she was just making the best of a terrible situation, Callum suggested. Perhaps she was, but would you forgive Laura if you saw such a thing? Would you ever have gotten over it, gotten over the fact that she was begging him to see her again, to do it again? No, Callum admitted. I don't think I could. So then, Harry said, are you going to let him win? Break you two up? Oh, Harry, we're all losers here. There are no winners here. I may have been wrong to throw in the towel so quickly, but I knew there was no turning back. Yes, I knew she was raped first. We were both raped, but we didn't remember it. However, she came back calling me an asshole, and I couldn't forget it. Couldn't forget the texting, the lies. No, that's not for me. Life and love shouldn't be this complicated. Not in my life, anyway. The only way out for me was divorce. Barney was arrested, and they found a rape kit on him. They found videos and pictures. I was uncomfortable with the idea that someone could see me being raped, but there were professionals there. I didn't want to see it myself. I was only told it had happened. I didn't remember anything about it and was eternally grateful for it. In my mind, it never happened, and I think it's for the best. Barney was deemed too mentally ill to stand trial. He is a safe haven, and I doubt he will ever recover enough to get out. He is in a hell of his own making. His obsession with me continues. I'm told he cries for me every night. Maureen says Stephanie cries for me too, crying for what she's lost. To her mother, she admitted that she began to enjoy illicit affairs with Barney. She didn't like him, but she liked playing whore with him. This is the part of her personality she never dared explore with me. She didn't know she wanted it, found submitting to Barney a turn-on even if she didn't find him attractive. The fact that she talked herself into thinking it was okay because she was doing it for me still makes me nauseous. Maybe that's the way it's always been. She spent time with a therapist to work it out, but still clung to the idea that we would get back together. Since the divorce, I've been living a quiet life. Humphrey and I are doing well, and one day I will find love again. It will happen, and I need to do it for me.